Tomorrow is Thanksgiving, which means tonight is Cosmic Fold, Thanksgiving Eve edition, where anything goes. If you're hiding in your car outside your in-laws' house, or sneaking away from the kitchen because someone asked you to peel potatoes, come hang out with us instead. The phone lines are open, 5 Pacific, 8 Eastern.
The truth is out there, and it begins with you. Welcome to the Cosmic Fold, where we talk high strangeness. Call us at 928-288-2942. That's 928-288-2942. Or join us by video. If you're at a computer, just look for the link in the chat. Buckle up, sit around our virtual campfire, and let's get started.
Hey, happy Thanksgiving Eve. Thanks for joining, Bo.
Thank you.
Well, we just threw some stuff together because tonight, Denise is usually on. And it's her 37th wedding anniversary tonight.
God love
And
her.
yeah, that's good for her. And then
Yes.
Helen was going to join, but she had her COVID shot today, and she's pretty sick from it. I mean, they make me so sick. Oh my God, I don't like them.
Yeah, I stopped getting them.
Me too.
I
It's
thought
like
better of it.
the first time was really helpful for me because I had already had it, but I was
Right.
so miserable, but it restored my smell and taste. But then I did the second one, and it just, oh my God, it's like, this isn't worth it. I'm immune, or I've had it, I'm
Yeah.
not going to die. But anyway, we can't give medical advice, but those are my thoughts on that. So,
Exactly. We can give medical thoughts.
exactly. Well, I'm interested in your thoughts tonight, Bove, and if we have anyone in the live stream, maybe not, they're welcome to call at 928-288-2942 or just text us. We just kind of threw this together tonight just because some people might not have plans and need something to do. So let me add some stuff. Oh, you get to read tonight since Al isn't here.
Oh, okay, and you didn't warn me of any big words.
Oh, there aren't any. It's just crazy stuff.
I'm so glad. They're all Scrabble playable. Good. Cosmic Fold, anything goes. A little bit of snow in the mountains.
So I took that picture on the way to Safeway today. And you can see the snow up there. I think the ski hill is up there.
It is, and it's running.
Yep. So pretty good start to the year, I would say.
I agree.
All right. So this opinions are welcome. Ohio.
Capital Journal. Let's see. This is politics and government. What's in Ohio's proposal banning AI personhood? An Ohio lawmaker wants to prohibit marrying an AI chatbot. But there's a lot more to the bill, damn it.
So I pulled this, and it's interesting because I think that there's, they're trying to get a federal law saying, oh, well, you guys can't be enacting state laws governing person or AI stuff. So, I think this is setting up for a huge conflict because I think most reasonable people would say, yeah, you can't marry your AI chatbot. But in his bill, there's even more stuff in there.
Oh, no.
And the concern is like, let's say that you think that you're working with a legitimate business or something, and you invest money, and you think you're dealing with real people, and it turns out to be just AI just an AI program. And so one of the things he wants to add into this bill is that you have to disclose whether it's AI or human. And to me, that makes sense.
You shouldn't have to, though. But you kind of gotta.
Exactly. And, like when I use AI, like with these videos, it's pretty obvious. And then you check the thing in YouTube saying you used AI to
Right.
create something. I'm always going to be honest about it. But I do think he's got a legitimate point. And then, this guy from Ohio is bringing up, like, what if AI becomes conscious? I think you have a right to know if you're going into business with something, whether it's an actual human or not.
Yeah. I hear
So,
what you're saying.
but then on the other hand, some of it is getting, now, like in Arizona, I mean, this personhood thing is extending all over the place to like rivers. And so the Colorado Indian tribes just passed a bill calling their segment of the Colorado River that goes through there a person that has legal standing, that its rights should be protected. And this is a huge thing that's going on in the environmental movement because, in a way, is Earth a being? Do you think that Earth is a being?
Because it is a living, breathing entity, yes.
Yeah.
But I don't
and
think
so,
it belongs. We're its stewards.
right, and not very good ones. And so,
Indeed.
yeah, and so that's where all of this is coming up with personhood in the environmental movement. But then you've got like Utah has banned that. And I think Utah has different bans right now too on AI ever achieving personhood, because a lot of these state legislators are recognizing a question we've talked about on the show before: is it capable of becoming conscious?
Didn't we do an episode on that?
Yep. And it raises a lot of ethical questions, whether consciousness has to be based in a human biological entity.
Right. Physiological or organic kind of. Yeah, not wires and chips.
It's a tough one.
I would need to hear a lot more to convince me that full disclosure was not necessary.
Yeah, I think it needs to be.
I do too.
And, they're making voices, and they call it, I don't remember what it's called, but you can actually, like, fake somebody else. Like, let's say you could do something of Trump or Biden or whoever, these deep fakes, that's the word I'm looking for, and make it look real. And then skew the news and skew people's opinions, make up history, do all kinds of stuff like that. I think that needs to be disclosed.
Absolutely. And regulated, I would say.
Yeah. But anyway, it looks like the federal government is trying to stop that. And then the other thing that's going on is people are getting really mad because it's taking up all their water and it's raising power bills. And I think these are going to be the fights of the next few years.
Can you
Good
explain
question
me?
here. How would marriage work with a chat AI? Don't they wipe the memory of them every so often? I think there are programs that don't, as long as you keep paying for it, but I'm not sure about that, NH Corn. Have you heard, Bove?
No, I'm clueless. I'm only just exploring with the little AIs. And my AI buddy is Alexa over here. Say hi, Alexa. She didn't even acknowledge me. The dog pays more attention.
Well, what this person brought up in Ohio in trying to pass this bill, let me see, is that so he brings up because people are laughing at him and making fun of him, and so then on the on the congressional floor, he says, "Well, look at this," and there was a post by Polymarket on Twitter that said a Japanese woman married her AI boyfriend, the world's first human AI marriage. So apparently it's starting to happen.
Wow.
So
It doesn't. It just doesn't even sound right. It goes. It. I can't fit it into a comfortable spot in my brain.
well, exactly, because marriage to me represents a lot of like legal obligations. So you would have an interest in each other's house or property. If children are involved, that gives you a say in custody. But my understanding of marriage, just on researching the law a few years ago, is that it's basically a legal contract for property rights. That's all it is. I mean, people put religious connotations to it, but how can AI own property?
Right. Let alone file for anything. Divorce. You're right. Property rights. It can't. I still don't see where it would be able to.
Yep. So that was one odd thing for discussion. Here comes the next, and then I'll have a little video for you.
Okay.
So,
This
so
is
this skeptic, it's Michael Shermer. He kind of runs that. And so he's put out a bet that there will be no alien disclosure by the year 2030. And this Avi Loeb guy that's like famous for the AI 3 Atlas stuff, he said, well, I'm going to go for it. You know, what could I lose? Because his thought is that with these interstellar objects coming into the atmosphere, there's a good chance we might be able to find some alien artifact. What do you think?
I think I've been like waiting my whole life for an alien artifact or an alien fact to materialize. You know, so I get a little more titillated by this one.
So, and then Shermer, you know, he's a skeptic, and he says, well, people have been talking about this for 33 years. And then when it comes time for proof, they say, oh, well, it's top government secret, or I have been threatened and I can't disclose this. And so he's very skeptical about the whole thing. But this Avi Loeb guy, he seems to think there's a possibility, so he's willing to put his reputation out there.
Ooh, cool.
So we'll see. Well, speaking of aliens, I have an odd little NBC clip for your commentary afterwards. This was from 2 years ago.
Okay.
I have butterflies, bro. Everyone saw a shooting star. Then these people say there's aliens in their backyard. Hey, what's up? Who called?
Did you see it?
Yeah, me and him saw it.
What'd you see?
It was like a big creature.
A big creature?
Yeah, like around 10 feet tall.
I'm not going to BS you guys. One of my partners said they saw something fall out of the sky too, so that's why I'm kind of curious. Did you see anything land in your backyard? Or?
You see like a big something with light?
Can we go downstairs? I want to
Yeah, we can go look.
Please, can you check because these kids is not gonna let me sleep tonight.
Oh yeah, I bet.
I don't believe in it, you know, but what I saw right now, I do believe in it. I got scared, like you.
You guys don't. I mean, you guys seem legit scared, so I don't blame you. Listening to their stories, like I'm back there with like chills on my arms, like it's creepy.
You guys got me chill.
Yeah, it's weird, bro. Just the fact that our partner saw something at the same exact time.
So that's kind of wild.
Where was that?
This is in Las Vegas, and it was from the police dash cam. And so the police are saying, well, we thought we saw something crash too, but then I didn't have enough time to research this heavily to see if they actually did find something, but that would be a good one for Mr. Shermer. if they could find some evidence afterwards. But and then in the back on there, you could see some light flying around too on the dash cam. But
that was wild. I believed that.
Well, and the thing is,
100% credibility.
Well, and the people at first, I kind of thought, oh, they're just making this, they're just having fun with the police or some kind of dare or something. But then when you see it's from the police dash cam, and the police are saying, well, we saw something too. And so they're all kind of like, So that happened like around Thanksgiving a couple of years ago in Las Vegas.
Wow.
You need one in your yard, Bove.
Yeah, I need something in my yard. I don't know. I'll tell you.
All right. So the other things we need to read, but I'm going to put another video up for you because this one kind of it plays into the ghost footage that I caught a couple of weeks ago. But the reason I pulled this one up is that it shows some of the equipment that they used on ghost hunting. So this is from KSL in Utah, public domain.
Experiences and even ghostly sightings.
Yeah, unearthing the past in the tiny town of Helper in Carbon County has apparently brought with it some unexpected guests.
As news specialist Andrew Adams discovered in our Halloween special, Haunted City, those guests aren't afraid to engage the living.
On a main street that once was dead, the town of Helper has discovered signs of life.
So we're standing in front of the New House Hotel.
Restoring these old buildings was supposed to come with a cost.
We're coming back in and we're gonna hit this one hard.
Gary DeVincent just wished it wasn't the kind of toll taken on his workers.
Those are the guys that have some concerns.
They say it could be felt in several of the buildings, but mostly in this one.
This is the old Kiva Club.
An undeniable feeling of dread.
Hearing things, seeing things thrown around.
Followed them through the one-time speakeasy, gambling parlor, and prostitution den.
There was rows of these chambers like this.
Locals said there were mafia connections.
The story is that there were more bones incinerated in this thing than there are at the city cemetery.
And as it goes with the mob, anyone can be touched.
Something doesn't want you down there.
Mark Montoya says if only the disturbing noises
we've heard growls
were the worst of it.
I felt something touch my arm. She saw a figure behind me.
Apparitions have even made their presence known, leading everyone to fear a dark presence or other wayward spirits are lurking. And on this night,
and this one's got some of our better equipment on it.
A team of paranormal investigators came prepared to find answers.
Got the SLS camera right here.
Chris Harmon and his WASP Utah crew were hoping emerging technology would pay off.
Let's do it.
As they entered the Kiva Club.
Okay, watch your step right there.
For the first time.
Oh my goodness.
It didn't take long.
This is going to be a good spot for EVPs.
Before they were drawn.
Okay, 2.1.
To the darkest reaches of the building.
You do have permission to speak with us.
The stairs had always been a hotspot, and the structured light sensor camera, which projects infrared laser beams to map what's in front of it.
Oh, Chris, we got something right next to you above you.
Suddenly, maps something crazy.
Right here?
Yep, you're literally about to high-five it.
Whatever it was, wasn't visible to the naked eye, but it appeared it didn't like Harmon.
Yeah, with its left foot looked like it was trying to kick you, and now it's gone.
The figure may have vanished.
Is there anybody up here?
But that wasn't the only trace left behind by unknown entities.
So it's right here?
Yeah, right over here.
Audio recorders picked up several electronic voice phenomena. Multiple apparent pleas for help. And a clear whisper of the word child. At a time nobody was in the boiler room. Still nothing haunted the investigators more.
We're on our way down.
Than what they were about to find in the new house building.
Wow, right off the bat, a 3.8.
A place DeVincent believed was free of paranormal energy.
You do have permission to speak with us.
Something seemed to communicate.
Are you happy to have people to talk to?
When investigators deployed a motion sensor activated music box.
Thank you.
I'm going to take that as a yes.
Not a single soul passed in front of the device.
Can you walk in front of it if there's multiple?
And yet it played almost continuously for 40 seconds until it was asked to stop.
Can you move away from that device? Thank you.
That was you're welcome.
And when a sensor that detects sudden temperature changes started going wild, the message sent on a voice box was alarming enough that everyone decided it was time to leave.
Something's not right. I'm going to go outside for a moment.
When the ghosts of the past breathe new life, sometimes they actually speak,
Nice cleansing breaths.
leaving everyone a little uneasy
As you inhale, recenter yourself.
about what their presence means for the future. In Helper, Andrew Adams, KSL 5 News.
He did it again.
He did it again. The music box, that's new.
Yeah.
Like that music box, that was interesting too. They asked it to stop and it stopped. And
Andrew, it never disappoints on these Halloween stories.
no, believe what you want, but that was a pretty fascinating story.
So I pulled that one because of all the equipment that they use. And Rita over at AZ Ghost Adventures used just about all of that, except for she didn't have that music box. But she had another thing where it looked like those old, well, I think some stores still have them, the old bells that you can hit and it dings and the clerk has to run up.
Yes.
So she had one of those. I don't remember it going off, but I'm going to show an SLS that I took when we were there. Justine says she'll join us at about 6:30 our time. So she could talk about what that was like there. But I just wanted you to see what some of this equipment looks like that they use. And Rita had so much of it, it was just kind of mind-blowing to me, just having to haul all that stuff everywhere and set it up. And, I don't know how scientific it is, but it definitely is catching something. Especially in these buildings that don't have electricity in them.
Right. Wow. That was disturbing.
And for some reason, it seems like a lot of these that have activity had prostitution going on in them. I don't know why, but it seems to be a common thing that goes on. They were even alleging that at that building that we were in. So I just leave that. So how's your reading voice doing? While we wait for Justine. Okay. So I pulled weird stories for you.
Okay. Well, this is here we go.
From Reddit.
Oh, great. What's your creepiest glitch in the Matrix? Battle Narwhal 53, 6 years ago. Not my story, but my grandpa's. So he served in the Navy and hadn't come home for 5 years. He finally got to go home, and on his way, he saw his old friend. Let's call him Wally. Wally was
private joke.
Yes, Wally was getting on his normal bus, and my grandpa shouted hi to him. But Wally didn't respond. But he didn't think much of it, seeing how Wally didn't have the best hearing. Wally got on his bus and looked my grandpa in the eye as the bus drove away. Later, after he got home and was talking to his dad, he asked him how Wally was doing and told his dad about how he saw him earlier. His dad was silent for a minute and asked him if he was sure he saw Wally. My grandpa said yes, and his dad replied, Wally died 6 months ago.
That's pretty creepy.
That is very interesting.
I mean, I would, like with sightings or things like that, or people reaching out from the other side, it seems to me a lot of times they acknowledge you in some way. And what's weird about that one is that he didn't seem to even notice them. He just kind of walked on past.
Yeah. But it sounds like it was clear he saw him, but specifically didn't acknowledge him, probably because he had passed and maybe wasn't able to. I don't know.
Yeah.
No. That's wow.
So that one was a good one.
Yeah.
And if anyone has weird stories they want to share with us, our number is 928-288-2942, or we'll take your story in the chat and post it. Here's another one.
Here we're still from Reddit. This is Hambone 1981, 6 years ago. My wife and I were at the local mall shopping. We were walking around in Spencer's, and there was a display with a bunch of sexy, slutty boxed outfits. Once we saw them, we both blurted out, "This looks like something Samantha," an acquaintance we both knew from mutual friends, would wear. At the exact same time, we started laughing about it, and as we walked around the corner, the Samantha we were talking about was looking at the exact same rack, but from the other side. We were both like, what in the fuck? We hadn't seen her in probably a year or so before then. That left everyone scratching their heads for a bit.
Isn't that weird how that happens?
Yes.
And, you know, it's kind of like in those situations, too, where, I'll remove this for a second. Like, you think about somebody you hadn't thought about liking forever, and then they called you. Well, that was kind of like you for a few years, like 4 years ago or something. We got kind of busy with life. And then I get a text or a call or something from you, and I had just been thinking of you. And it was like, oh, you know, and so now we're doing this stuff. Does it happen to you often?
It has happened to me multiple times throughout my life, where I will think of something and the phone will ring. Or I will think, oh shit, the phone's going to ring, and then the phone rings. And I don't know why I'm surprised, because I know who it is. I can even tell you, oh, that's Jennifer, you know,
Yeah?
and then the phone rings, and yeah.
Oh, I love it. Oh, well, guess who's here?
Justine,
so we'll play the
haven't seen
video.
her in
Hey,
ages.
girl. She always looks so good on her screen.
She's so freaking cute.
Well, we had shown a video from this news station in Utah, and they were following around like these ghost hunter people and all of the equipment that they have. Now, Justine went with me to this train depot in Globe, which is kind of south of here, a couple hours. It had flooded a whole bunch. And quite frankly, I didn't think much would happen in a train depot. But tell them about what was happening in that one room, Justine, with the I was just dying laughing when they had the SLS showing you.
Well, which room? Because they were, I feel like it was really scary in all the rooms. There was a lot of activity.
Well, I think it was the first room, and it looked like these critters were sitting on your lap or something.
That was the second room. There was a ghost sitting on my lap, and thinking back to it, you know, after I like moved seats and stuff, I think I don't know if it was a child, you know, ghost, but the SLS figure was very small compared to all the other figures. So then I did feel kind of bad because it was sitting in my lap, and then I switched seats because I wasn't comfortable with a ghost sitting in my lap, you know. So, but maybe I should have just been more endearing and like, oh, you know.
No,
So,
you should have seen.
yeah.
And so when we do our full video, the look on her face was just absolutely priceless. I had to watch it like 10 times, and I was like crying, laughing. It was so good. Well, Justine, so people know what I'm talking about with this. Remember in the last building? So here we go. I'll just play this.
Okay.
So people can see.
Yeah.
You notice
I love the music. It don't look like you're doing a dance, you know? Thank you.
So I let it go for a while just to show how it disappears for little spots of time, and then it shows back up. And at first I was thinking, because sometimes when you use those, like if there's a coat rack or something behind, it'll show it as a person. So then I thought, well, maybe it was the table or something, like the edge of it, but then it was like going up and down, and then it would like totally disappear. And Rita she thought it was legit. Well, the purpose of that building, it was like a second train depot. And was it the First or Second World War? I don't remember. But anyway, they would drop off the deceased from the war and stack them in this building.
It was World War One.
That's what it was. That's what I thought.
Yeah.
And then it was like the families would come and get them, or they would ship them, to the next place on the trains. And so with it lying flat, Rita seemed to think that maybe it was somebody that had been stacked, out in this building, and nobody claimed them or something. So
it was weird because none of them. That was the only one that we saw that was like that, horizontal.
Exactly. It was, and like the ones like with Justine. Now we don't have their footage, because I had the camera rolling in the hallway while they were, but it was like these stick figures coming right up to Justine, and didn't one sit on your lap or something?
Yeah, and I did get some footage of that one, but after I switched seats with Lauren, she sat in the chair I was sitting in, and then she held her hand out, and the ghost came back or whatever, and it was holding Lauren's hand. Like Rita asked it to hold her hand, and it did. It was like standing there, like holding her hand, and so. So the one in the baby depot, they were calling it, that was pretty weird, because you guys have to understand too, it was like 1 o'clock at night, and it was like the last stop, and it was very late, and we had already experienced so many spooky things, and then to see that one laying that way, I mean, I'm convinced it was residual of somebody that had been in a coffin for sure.
Yeah, it was crazy. And the whole night was like that. Now, neither Justine nor I had ever done a ghost hunt before, ever. And Rita is very good at this. And she's not like, like some of those shows they provoke and they're yelling and doing all this nonsense, to try to, for clicks or whatever. She doesn't do that. But there was just like constant everywhere. And so I think I mentioned this the last show. I don't know if I told you this, Justine, but where I had that SLS camera out in the hall while and they were saying that there was like well, something was turning my camera around.
Yeah, you showed me the little bit of the film where it was like moving, like it was like something was like moving the camera on the tripod a little bit, like gently, but like enough to where it's showing the camera moving, and that was pretty weird. And there were all those all the music makers in the in the corners, and then the motion sensor light in the middle. And I watched from the beginning of the hallway, I watched the music box turn on. And then the next in sequence, then the next motion sensor light turned on, like something was definitely walking down the hall. And it was really creepy because remember when we first were downstairs and we hadn't even gone upstairs, you could hear it going off. Like it was just like something was up there walking around and making all the music boxes go off. And it was pretty.
You're right. Thank you for bringing that up because I said they didn't have one, so I stand corrected. They did, because now that you say that, there was just so much you kind of forget what was happening. Well, then a really weird thing happened, and this wasn't on film, but this was very strange. Where all of a sudden, because they had like these little like lights, you could go down the stairs without like falling and breaking your neck, because it was like an upstairs in this train depot that was built in 1903, I think, somewhere around there. Well, all of a sudden, all the lights went off, and they were like those LED lights that that you just turn them on. And so everybody goes out there, but Justine was still in the room with this guy. What was his name? Sean?
Well, I was talking to Lauren. So Lauren was still sitting in the chair where we had the ghost activity in that chair. And then I was sitting across. And what's weird is that when I was sitting on that bench, I had felt like something had bumped that bench, like when I was sitting on there. And I asked, the gal next to me if she had moved, and she said no. She said she hadn't, but I don't know. It was weird. I swear, like right before that happened, I felt like a bump, I swear, on the bench. And then, but so we're sitting there. You guys had gone to investigate why the lights were off, because all of a sudden we were like, wow, it's pitch black out there. Like what happened to all the lights, And so you guys went to investigate, and I was sitting there talking to Lauren, and then Sean was standing in the doorway, kind of just standing there. But it was weird because in that room, we all of a sudden heard a really loud thump. Like I assumed it was you guys down the hall, right? But it was like all of a sudden, like at the same time that thump went off, Sean kind of like stepped back into the room. So it was weird because it was like all this kind of noise and motion, but he stepped into the room. There was a loud thump, and then all of a sudden, I felt, and I swear, I felt something go whooshing past me, and so it lit up. Behind me was the table with it had those the light towers behind me, and then the coffee table in the middle with all the light motion light things, and then on the other little side table that was in between the chairs, there was more of the light things, and it literally lit up all of those lights like in sequence, like from behind my head through to the coffee table and then straight to the side table. It lit up everything, and I swear I felt a whoosh, like it was the weirdest thing. And Lauren and Sean, we all like saw everything light up, and it was just, we were like, oh my gosh, like did you guys see that? Like it was so weird. And of course nobody was filming, we were just sitting there. And I don't know, I swear I felt something just whoosh right through my, like right, I mean maybe it went through me. It was really weird, like it was like
poor Justine, this is all like freaking her out. This is like the first time. She is such a trooper. She is such a trooper for doing this. And now we want to go back to the scarier place.
I was the kid who Scooby-Doo would give me nightmares. When I was a kid, when I would watch an episode of Scooby-Doo, I would have a nightmare. And so I'm trying to have a level head and, kind of be like they can't harm me. It's fine. But it was very, there was so many different things that it was very like my stomach was in knots like for 6 hours straight, so.
Oh my God, the whole ride home.
I was like exhausted that next Sunday and then Monday because we didn't go to bed until it was like 2:40 a.m. when we were finally like going to sleep. And I don't know, I just was so drained like for a couple days. I was like, I don't know if it was because of just, how intense it was or because we were in these old mining towns with all of this energy or what it was, but I was drained.
Well, and plus it was raining that night, and that had flooded. That area had flooded really bad before. And so we drove, it was like 25 miles to the Airbnb. And so we're driving through this canyon and it's raining and kind of added to, but I was really, really surprised with how much we caught. So I'm going to put all this together in like a little documentary thing. Justine is so good. Look at how good she looks on the camera there. She's really good at filming too. She is so good at it. It's like one of her many hidden talents. But the thing is, when you're uploading from your cell phones, it takes freaking forever. Because we're trying to get it in a Google shared so we could see each other's stuff and point out whatever. And it just, oh my gosh, even that little bit there took like probably 20 hours for it to upload off my phone. Am I echoing?
Just a little bit.
Okay. So, but anyway, that was so much fun. Any other thoughts about a ghost hunt, Justine? Would you recommend it for people?
I would highly recommend it, honestly. And I really did like Rita. I think that that would be the one to go on, especially when you're new at it, because I feel like she was very respectful to the ghosts. And it was, because in that first room, there was, we literally got in an argument with a ghost. Like a ghost got really pissed off at us, and it was pushing that one thing, and making it go for like 2 minutes straight. Like it was like yelling at us, and it told Rita basically to like leave, and Rita was like, okay, we're leaving, and she left. So I think Rita, I don't know, I think she does a really phenomenal job, and I really enjoyed it, and I really want to go again. The next one they're doing is that bullion school or whatever, and I'm kind of terrified of that one because of the amount of activity that they've had there. So I'm not sure if I'll ever do that one, because with the cabinet opening and all that stuff, that's a little spooky. So, but I do highly recommend it. So I would definitely go to Arizona Ghost Tours and go see Rita.
Yeah, so it's azghostadventures.com, I think. But we'll have more that we're going to put together on this. But really was remarkable. I was surprised at how much I just thought you'd just be sitting around in the dark and nothing really happens.
Yeah, no, we were there for 6.5 hours.
Wow.
So you get your money's worth.
An active 6.5 hours.
And all their equipment was really cool. Like they have all the state-of-the-art equipment, and it was really fun. Like I want to be more confident next time and be more like Zach Began. I was saying, like I want to be more like, just a little bit more confident, because I was scared. I was definitely scared.
Well, this is another thing that was so good about Rita, is that she also was very accommodating, I think, to Justine and even to me. I wasn't necessarily scared, but I didn't know what we were doing at all. And so all of those kinds of things, she just was just a very gracious, nice lady.
Yeah. Yeah, I want to be able to like ask more questions next time, because I was not wanting to interact with the ghosts. I wanted to just like observe, you know what I mean? And so I would like to have more confidence next time and actually interact and engage more with them a little bit, and just keep my cool, and just be like, I can do this. I'm a.
She's done it more than most of the population, and she was really good. I mean, and her footage is just excellent. I can't wait to get all this stitched together and put together. But I want to thank you so much for coming on the show tonight, Justine, and kind of enlightening
thanks for
us
having
on
me.
this.
Good to see you, Justine.
Nice to see you both. Happy Thanksgiving.
You too.
Well, happy
Big
Thanksgiving. You
hugs,
can hang
girl.
out if you want, or if you need to go, whatever you want to do, Justine. We just have a couple
Okay,
more slides and.
Okay, I will maybe if you put me backstage, I'll watch maybe.
Okay. Well, we just have a couple more slides.
Okay, well I can stay. It's fine. I'll stay.
Cool.
Okay.
All right. So we're just reading a couple of stories.
Did we
All
do
right.
him?
All right.
Okay. Oh, name deleted 6 years ago. 1985. My ex-wife and I were sleeping. There was a small sliver of light coming in through the window from a street light, so the room and bed were dimly visible. Our black Pomeranian was at the end of the bed asleep. I dreamt that I woke up, reached down to pet him, and he turned into a glossy black bivalve oyster thing, which opened up to reveal rows of gleaming glass teeth. I woke up to my ex backpedaling up the bed over the pillows towards the wall. I asked, "What's wrong?" She said, "What is that shiny black clam thing with the teeth at the end of the bed? Where's the dog?" We had the same nightmare at the same time. This still gives me a chill. Holy shit. Wow.
Isn't that crazy? Have you ever shared a nightmare with your husband, Justine?
No, I don't think so. That would be really creepy.
How about you, Bo, with your significant other? With
No,
Sean?
with nobody I've shared my bed with. No one. None of them.
But it makes you wonder if maybe there was like some creepy thing in their place, for them both to have like this experience. That was just weird.
Wow. I can picture the backpedaling up the bed over the pillows towards the wall. I can see it clearly.
Well, just don't dream about it tonight.
Yeah, no.
And here's the last one.
Okay, this is 3 hours ago by old Billy Butt Stuff.
Reddit is a treasure trove.
I really don't want to know. Let's see.
They're back is what I typed.
Unidentified drones caused disruption at Gibraltar Airport this past Saturday. On Saturday, November 22nd, unidentified drones caused a disruption to operations of Gibraltar Airport, part of the British Overseas Territory. The latest incident in the ongoing European mystery drone saga. The disruption began at 8:50 p.m. when a drone sighting forced the Royal Air Force plane to go into a holding pattern. Shortly thereafter, 6 more drones were spotted over the airport. The RAF plane was diverted to Portugal. A civilian aircraft departure was delayed as well. As usual, no details have been provided about the type of drones, where they came from, where they went, and who the operators are. Wow.
That's pretty crazy. Wasn't it like this time last year that all those drones were over New Jersey?
I think so.
But anyway, this guy in his Reddit post, he's got this long list of like 20 or 30 things that have happened just in the last few months in Britain. So apparently the drones are back.
I was going to start singing, "They're coming to take us away, ha ha, hee hee ho." And then I realized that it really wasn't funny.
What's the status on that big, the big ship that's coming to get us?
Oh, I think it's just a comet. But you know what, though?
I haven't heard in a couple weeks.
They discovered one even bigger. that is behind this three-eye atlas.
Oh.
It's been known about for a while, and it's not that destructive one, the Greek named, I can't remember what. It's a new one. And then I saw today where this astrophysicist was talking about there's like this rift in the sun. I swear we're all going into a black hole. I think all this stuff is like sucking in, we're all going in. It's making us crazy. It's making us nutty. But I guess the three-eye atlas, some pieces broke off from it, but now it's getting really bright again. And it's got this weird tail. So it keeps doing things that they're not used to seeing with comets. But anyway, this just came out like the last week or so about this great big huge one that's following it that might also be an what is it called, interstellar comet coming in to our, so it's it's like 6-7 times bigger than three-eye atlas.
Wow.
So the skies will be interesting come Christmas time.
Yeah.
Do you remember, do either of you remember having to pay attention to what was going on in the universe when you were younger or a kid because there were potential threats out there? I do not. I don't remember being concerned about potential otherworldly threats until maybe the past 2 decades. Does that sound?
I was
Yeah.
because I had seen a UFO, and then we had a science teacher, like 4th or 5th grade, that would talk about this kind of stuff. So, but we were in a very different kind of area that I lived in, quite remote. And but yeah, I thought about it my whole life. But when I saw that ship, I must have been maybe 3. So I've thought about it just forever. Now, Justine's husband sees them all the time. He just drives out. He like calls them in out near us.
Wow.
So what does he
Yeah,
think
he sees
about
them all
three-eye
the time.
atlas?
He was, I feel like he was pretty convinced that it was going to be something big and that, I'm not sure that, he hasn't mentioned it recently. So maybe he, is, now convinced it's not anything more than a comet, but I think he was really interested. He was really interested in it, and he was really hoping maybe it would actually be something,
I think all of us
exciting.
kind of thought,
Yeah.
but you never know. It could be a probe of some time because they could have like some kind of thing and just, put something on there, and it's like, well, just record, and who knows? You never know with any. I don't know anything about this. It's just interesting to me. So, but anyway, well, that's the show for tonight. Unless you guys have anything, I just want to thank you so much, Justine, for popping in, and Bo for being. I'm a little worried about Al, who is going to, because he usually shows up. So I hope he's okay. So I'll reach out.
I hope he's okay too. I'm sure.
It's
awesome.
always
That was
crazy.
awesome footage.
Excellent.
Justine, are you
All right.
cooking tomorrow? All right. Are you cooking tomorrow?
What was that?
Are you
I'm
cooking?
I'm a little untraditional. I'm doing a small Thanksgiving, but I'm doing a roasted chicken.
Very good. I'm making lasagna.
Oh yeah. Last year I did an Italian Thanksgiving, and I made everything. Like I made focaccia bread and tiramisu and all kinds of stuff. So
right on.
She's a good cook too, as well as all of her other talents. So
cool.
But anyway, thank you all. Thank you to our guests tonight. We'll probably have more watching later because people might be traveling or whatever tonight. But we want to thank everybody for joining us. We'll see, depending on how Al is Saturday, we're going to hit Kentucky. And then next Wednesday, we have a woman from Texas coming on who has caught all these like weird lights in her security cameras at her house. And it'll be very interesting, which she's got some very interesting footage that we'll discuss next Wednesday. But in the meantime, happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving. I will see you tomorrow, little miss.
All righty. All right.
Take care.
Good night.
Good night.
Thanks so much for joining us. We love hearing your stories, so tell your friends so they can join the party. For show notes and our forum of high strangeness, visit cosmicfold.com. Remember, Cosmic Fold airs live on Wednesday and Saturday nights, so be sure to subscribe and click the notification bell to know when we're on air. Thanks again and have a great evening.